Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Genshin Impact lore reading session. Actually, this is going to be a smorgasbord of Arlecchino content, and at the time of recording right now, we are in version 4.6. However, I'm actually going to be uploading this to YouTube as soon as possible, within a couple of days after recording this, because it is fresh, it is recent, it is relevant to the current happenings of Genshin Impact with Arlecchino, the Harbingers, the Crimson Moon Dynasty, Perrin Harry, and everything else in between. We also finished doing the Arlecchino story quest yesterday. For the first time, I got absolutely bodied by Arlecchino, which was awesome. I cried a lot at the end with Perware and Clairvy, and just it was just really great and wholesome, sincere, and complex with Arlecchino, and I did not foresee where it was going, and I was also relatively like surprised by the end of it in a good way. So really loved the quests, and so now we are shifting all into like lore and just kind of breaking down and understanding everything about Arlecchino. We're actually going to be starting with the collected miscellany, which I was really interested in hearing what Dainsleif had to say about Arlecchino based on her Crimson Moon Dynasty affiliations with her weapon and this like Crimson Moon fire magic thing that she's got going on, because the Crimson Moon Dynasty, of course, is an earlier dynasty of Conria, which actually predates Dainsleif, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know by how many years. I don't know the gap between the Crimson Moon Dynasty and the Eclipse Dynasty, or how long of time that is actually. But yeah, we're actually going to be checking this out, hearing what Dainsleif has to say, and then after this, we're going to be doing her boss fight. I'm going to be reading her boss lore. I got one shot in the story boss fight, so I'm actually like fearing my life for the full fight of Arlecchino with all of her power intact. After that, we're going to be reading her profile lore, and then the voice lines with like the Harbingers and things of that nature. So appreciate all of you guys being here with me live in chat. Appreciate all of you guys watching this eventually in a couple of days when this goes up on YouTube. And without further ado, very interesting title too. Collected Miscellany, Arlecchino, Afterglow of Calamity.
The fourth of the Fatui Harbingers.
Hell yeah.
A formidable Snezhnayan diplomat.
Hell yeah.
And a ruthless assassin.
Yeah.
This is the most
and
you
best
can hope
dad
to glean about Arlecchino, if you know the right people to ask. But if you go one step further and gain the acceptance of a certain group of children, you'll learn about her most important identity of all. A father.
Father do be fathering.
This will be a productive partnership, I hope.
Hell yeah.
As an intelligence operative,
I just want to say too, I love the production value of these collected miscellanies and how far they've come from like the early 1.x variations. They've evolved. I just love how they transition from like scene to scene, moment to moment. I really like them. We've come a long way from like the Kaya demo, or you know, for what it's worth.
Arlecchino prefers more covert means of attack. But don't expect her to shy away from unleashing her raging flames in broad daylight, if the situation calls.
Yeah, she's got 3 flames. Love her kit. I love her kit. If I crown her, which I really want to crown her, if I crown her, I'm going to crown her basic attack. Because I think that's what you get. I think that's the most value that you get from her in terms of imbuing her pyro attack. It also has a crazy AoE, by the way. Like, you can be getting 2 characters in front of you and then a guy like all the way in the back. But those spikes actually hit a lot of characters in an AoE.
Percentage of her max HP.
Oh, actually, I never even thought to use her with Kaya.
To the total bond of life.
Holy shit, that's actually peak.
As is the maximum bond of life.
Actually, why is it Kaya of all characters? Kaya's a Conrian descendant. Does that mean Arlecchino is too? I don't know, man. That's kind of sus.
As is the maximum bond of life that they can confer. The Crimson Moon bloodline etched into Arlecchino's life.
Excuse me? Did bro just actually say that in this freaking trailer? Nonchalantly. Wait, so she's a bloodline descendant. I'm not being trolled, am I right? I've been getting trolled this entire patch. Holy shit. It's crazy to hear someone just say it so casually. I guess her power is older than Dainsleif, but like, is she like ancient, or is she like, yeah, I'm living a normal human life. I just have the bloodline of the Conrians. It's so weird because now it's like, does she know anything about that? Or is Dane just saying that removed? I mean, she must. She was doing that crazy blood moon technique genjutsu on us in the fight. It's just what she does seems not very human, right? Like Dainsleif has like the power of the abyss. This doesn't seem abyss. This seems like something else.
Neither a dark sun nor a red moon is seen as a good omen by this world's standards.
I'm already thinking about that that one shot of the we will be reunited with Lumine running through the freaking blood moon of the past. Like, that's not good.
Things certainly did not end well for the dynasties that took them as their respective emblems.
Oh!
So when someone has a recurring dream featuring the sight of a crimson moon, she should beware. In my long journey, I have seen many fight to defy fate. Arlecchino is one of them.
Holy shit.
And she seems to have succeeded. The fiery blood that corrodes her flesh has eaten away, too, at the shackles that once bound her.
Oh my god.
When a blood-red moon shines down from above, some see the face of death, while others see the roof over their heads.
Okay. What does that mean for us? We just saw that crimson moon when we looked into our eyes. Oh my god, that's so scary. I really hope Arlecchino helps us out in the end game, bro. We're gonna need it. Chat, never forget, okay? The only reason we're alive is because Arlecchino didn't kill us. Count your blessings. Oh my god, that's insane. So the one thing that I will say, Dane with the casual, yeah, so she's tethered to the Crimson Moon Dynasty's bloodline. So that's a confirmation. But I want to know to what extent. Was she born with that power, or was that power imbued upon her? And what is this curse? Why is she then cursed as well? You know, there's still some unanswered questions. But the fact that it's tied in, I like that. I appreciate that. I also kind of sort of wonder like how this ties in with Per and Harry, because there were so many like connections, like the hearth and the orphanage and the Crimson Moon Dynasty and the children and all of that. And so I'm just like, I think that was why they put Per and Harry in the game. But you know, with the Crimson Moon Dynasty becoming a factor, maybe that's why, just to kind of establish that dynasty and some of its legacy. So yeah, so that was a lot of interesting information. I don't want to dwell too long on it because I do want to just read the lore and figure things out for myself. Like, speculating has been great up to this point, but we're on the cusp of getting answers. We are going to run the weekly bosses. I'm going to check out the 3 weekly boss materials after we're done. And I'm also going to see what I get for this full boss fight that I am actually coping right now, that I'm actually going to make it out alive. Bennett's only going to be useful for the buff, so I kind of need to go Zhongli. Otherwise, I can't heal unless I get my ult. So we're going to run it down. We're going to run it down mid, chat. If I get one shot again, I'm going to be so pissed off. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's got like all her children. Oh, this was like before. Actually, this is kind of cool. This new like boss setup. Holy shit. Oh my god. This looks so clean. Please go easy on me.
Afraid?
Should I?
Or do you not even have the courage to be afraid?
She's just like, that's my best friend. Oh, stay away from me.
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
I feel like I'm in a horror show right now.
With these rising flames.
All right, here we go.
Time to act.
Oh, Zhongli, I'm so sorry, sir.
Ring cutter. Here comes the catch.
Transfixed.
Get her! I should have put the blood debt directive on her first. All right, there we go. Direct. Oh, I got her. I stunned her.
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Oh my god, it just got fucking dark as hell.
The countdown has begun. Have a taste of
fuck.
purgatory.
I gotta clear. I gotta clear it. I gotta clear it.
Wanted my full attention, did you? Who's next?
Chat!
Trapped
Mistakes
with a bunch of
have been made.
Order guide you.
Oh god. Alright, mistakes were made, gamers. Holy shit. Oh my god. I literally need to get my ultimate. No!
These rising flames.
Quietly.
Is it my turn?
Body and mind. Time to act.
I will have
Holy moly. Yo, the music is so peak.
Game's up. Party's over. Busted.
Oh my god.
Closer now.
Come on, there we go. Thank God.
Witness my rise.
Heal me, please.
How amusing.
All right.
Ring cutter.
Yo, she's getting wombo comboed right now. Holy shit.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
All right, round 2, electric boogaloo.
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Oh, hold on.
Quietly now.
Yo, back up, lady.
Rain outlines your fate. Body and...
Is it my turn now?
I don't know, is it?
Like
my God.
a fly tangled in a web.
Get her, get her, get her. Bro, they're making me earn every bit of this HP.
Run.
Guys, mistakes may have been made. I might actually get bodied this second half. I gotta keep remembering to put Zhongli's shield back up. Oh God, this is the real fight. Yelan, I'm gonna say a prayer for you right now. I don't think you're surviving. All right, Paraware. I gotta be a gamer. I gotta freaking perfect frame dodge this shit, or my ass is cooked. Oh. Wait, why are you still up there? Come down here. Oh, I did it. Holy shit, I'm a gamer.
My blade is
Zhongli is almost dead. I didn't even realize that. And the funny thing is, I'm over here worrying about Arlecchino.
Let me weep.
overruled.
I just realized, I'm like, well, I don't have a healer, so sure, Arlecchino can heal herself, but no one can heal the rest of my team. Oh my God, get away from me. Holy shit, this is so hype. Oh. No! Oh my, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you.
Solidify.
All right, that was a risky business right there.
Let's see
Rain
how strong
outlines
the
your
result
face.
What the fuck was that?
The sun and moon have set.
Stabilize.
Oh my God.
Ruin remains.
Please.
All hope has been extinguished.
Thank God my Zhongli has 52,000 HP.
Body and no, my sword. Rain cutter. Busted. Game's up.
All right, here we go.
Gather.
Overruled. Sun,
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
witness mine.
Finger snap. Let's go. All right, I didn't really beat her. She just let me win. Yo, I hit her with the freaking Hersher of the Void right there. Alrighty, well, we live to fight another day, Mr. Zhongli. We're all hurting, bro. The only person that's not completely dead on the floor right now, writhing in pain, is Arlecchino. All right, here we go. I got one of each and a dream solvent. Holy shit. Let's fucking, yo, first weekly boss, we take those. Hell yeah. Oh my God. I was expecting to read the boss mats off of like the world map, but yo, you know what? I'll take the dream solvent and I'll take one of each. Easy clap, boys. Hell yeah. Now we get to read lore from my inventory. You love to see it. What does her boss domain say? That's a great question. Let's check it out. So her boss domain says, scattered ruins. This courtyard was once a wonder to behold, but now lies desolate. The previous battle has been buried like the dying light, but the next duel shall come as long as the family endures. So that was my first weekly boss fight with Arlecchino, the first of many, because I'm pretty sure the rest of the Fontaine characters and the initial Natlin characters are going to be taking her boss materials. And since I think I'm skipping Clorand and Sigewinne, and I don't know if they're going to reveal any new characters in 4.8, I think I'm going to be saving at this point and farming this weekly and holding these for potential characters that I'll be farming for when Natlin releases. And also building my Arlecchino. I definitely want to crown her as well. Memories, parting of light and shadow. Destiny leaves no room for excuses. All choices must undergo the trial of sharpening blades. Naive mistakes, ill-defined betrayals, the courage to bring about better ends. All these must brave a test of strength. The rude awakening you received while facing the Crimson Moon lingers in you still. Relive this battle in your memories, and you may yet learn something new. Is Arlecchino the Crimson Moon? Nani? Is that why we're not supposed to look her in the eye? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired of being bullied. It's time for us to uncover Arlecchino's Arlecchino's greatest secrets, so that way we may use it against her in battle the next time we meet. We have the Fading Candle, the Silken Feather, and the Denial and Judgment. A candle that you picked up in the ruins after completing the duel against the Knave. An ancient ritual passed down through the Crimson Moon Dynasty dictates that chosen orphans would be made to carry candles and pass through a long passageway alone. Parent Harry. The moment when the candle went out would be the beginning of their new lives. When the age of dark moon shining over the realm came, when the Eclipse Dynasty came through, where the candle's flame flickered in the hands of sinners, light may become shadows, making footsteps faint and masking fatal intent. You cannot tell what material this is made of, and it weeps no wax after burning, releasing only black ash that scatters into the winds, drifting towards the distant unknown. Yeah, so that ritual they were talking about was about the, it was the story that we learned about in Parent Harry, how they like go through the hearth and they're supposed to emerge on the other side, and then they ask, are you dead? And if they say yes, they're like, did you see it? The crimson moon, all that other freaky crazy shit, and then they're like, you have passed through the two worlds flames and you are now born anew, or something like that. Like you have a new life. So it sounds like the Eclipse Dynasty are sinners, and I think that might be related to them fucking around with the abyss. I would consider that a sin that like has the potential to destroy the world by them harnessing the abyss for whatever it is that they use it for. Like even Dainsleif was like, we will defy this world with a power from beyond. So it's kind of giving like forbidden knowledge / abyssal power, and that could very well be seen as a sin. I wonder if the Crimson Moon Dynasty was like usurped in like a nefarious way by the Eclipse Dynasty, because every time you hear about how they transitioned from one dynasty to the other, it almost seems like it wasn't like an amicable transfer of power, but like a hostile takeover. Dynasty changes usually indicate hostile takeover. I see. Yeah, I wasn't really aware of that, actually. I questioned when we read Parent Harry. I was like, okay, so it's one of two things. Either Rhine-daughter is from the Crimson Moon Dynasty of Conria, which would still technically mean that she's a Conria researcher. We just thought she was in the last 500 years, but she could be from the Crimson Moon Dynasty, or she could be from the Eclipse Dynasty, and she just learned alchemy. Because another thing, too, I don't know if this is Chemia. Like, this does not seem like the alchemy that Albedo uses. Like, Albedo... I mean, Albedo can do whatever the fuck he wants. Maybe he just chooses not to tap into the power that way. But I guess Chemia can be used to create life. I mean, fire is the bearer of life as well, and this is like a crimson moon flame that Arlecchino uses, so it could very well be like an aggressive form of Chemia. Yeah, Albedo does create life. He turns I think he turns like a butterfly into like a bird or something. But the thing too, it's mentioned that Rhine-daughter created the Rift Hounds. Actually, no, Rhine-daughter actually might be from the Crimson Moon Dynasty, because weren't the Dark Sprites and the Beastmasters from that age? And so if she created the Rift Hounds, they would have had to predate the Eclipse Dynasty if they existed that far back. Oh shit, that's kind of crazy. If true, that's kind of crazy. We have to have her confirm it, or someone has to confirm it. The one thing I wish we knew the time period between one dynasty ruling and another dynasty taking over, because all we know is how long it's been since the Eclipse Dynasty fell, which was 500 years. I wish we knew about how long that was, because I don't know because if it was like hundreds of years apart, then that means like Piero and Dainsleif weren't alive yet, or not alive, they weren't born yet, I should say. Are you technically dead if you're not born? Wait, so in what dynasty was I believe King Ermin was the last king of Conria, so he was the Eclipse Dynasty. Moving on, we have the Silken Feather, a crystal that you picked up in the ruins after completing the duel against the Knave. The already cool blood and fire still maintain the shape of a feather that is framed with solidified, sleek black threads. Before their thoughts have matured, young children are resilient on the meticulous care of their parents, just as fledglings need the aegis of an adult wing. But young birds too will one day spread their now abundant plumage and fly away from more distant skies. Such is life and such is fate. It is to fulfill such wishes that father wove dangerous spider silk into a facsimile of feathers that she might grant her family some warmth. She's like, I I took this silk and I wrapped around my family and I kept them safe. Denial and judgment. An earring that you picked up in the ruins after completing the duel against the knave. The red symbol upon it resembles the image of her eyes, a declaration and a rejection alike. The orphaned life lives filled with suffering from childhood that she sees and keeps in her heart. As fate casts an examined eye on humanity, so too will humans cast judgment upon fate. Someday, honor and justice, misery and tears will be denied alongside the old world. Bro, endgame. I swear to God, that's what Piero said.
Now you rest in this coffin, encased in layer upon layer of ice. But Rosaline, I promise you, your final resting place will be the entirety of the old world.
This last passage here, it talks about the old world, and that's literally what Piero said. Before that moment comes, the last children of the Crimson Moon will record fate's every sin. Oh, there it is. The last child of the Crimson Moon. I guess that's Arlecchino. Arlecchino is the last child of the Crimson Moon. That's crazy. That's wild, bro. Are we judging more sinners? Is another person gonna die for the sins of others? Arlecchino's gonna die for the sins of humanity. That's what it sounds like, bro. I swear to God. So I'm convinced that this is why Piero recruited her. Bro was like, wait a minute, there's a Conrian from before my dynasty. I definitely got to recruit her. And she's the last of their kind. And she still has the power of the Crimson Moon. Easy rank 4. Wait, so she is Conrian? Here's what I think. I don't think she's necessarily Conrian. I think, like, so her whole thing is like the two worlds, right? There has to be some type of like meaning about wherever that hearth sends those kids to. So she like went through the hearth or whatever, and she came out the other side and she saw the moon, and like I don't know. She's Conrian by blood. I don't know if she was born there though. So like all that means is she's the last descendant. The blood of the Crimson Moon dynasty flows through her veins and nobody else's. And I don't know if she ever decides to have kids, then those kids will be the last descendants. You know what I mean? But it's basically whoever her parents were or whatever crazy experiments were going on, because she's cursed, which like, I don't know if that's a byproduct of having that blood, but I was wondering how, you know, like how when we read Parent Harry, it was like, oh, kids go through the hearth and then they're asked, oh, did you die? Did you see it? And then they see a vision of like a crimson moon with an eye. I thought that's where she came from. I thought she came from that, like the actual moon itself. She's literally the child of the Crimson Moon, but she was, I don't know. It's hard to explain. She could be whoever that kid was that went through the hearth. She could be like a child of one of those kids, for all we know. Here we go. Look at that shit. I love how they just have this like a splash art as if you pulled for the damn character. That's crazy. That looks so sick. All right, so we're gonna read Arlecchino lore. Enemies of note: the Knave, fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. The ancient Bale Moon blood flows within her fate, granting her all that the dynasty once had: yearning, power, and curses alike. In her short life, she has supped of countless agonies and drunk deep of the cup of suffering, just as her ancestors once did when they imbibed poison at the rising of the dark sun. Yeah, these motherfuckers got usurped, bro. They had a lot of shit going for themselves, that Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, neither suffering nor fate has proved a fatal toxin to her. Instead, they are the firewood fueling her quietly burning hearth, and are the fire bringing her children warmth. Someday, the hearth fire's faint radiance shall burn the old world away, incinerating the final scion of the baleful moon as well. Someday, these still immature children will break free of ancient fate and usher in the future without tears she dreams of. But until that day comes, until dawn breaks, the one named Perware shall stand guard over their fragile, sweet dreams. Wow. And this is the quote: "If fate should pave for us a pale road, let us dye it in bloody crimson of the Bale Moon. Even a flickering, famished fire can burn all suffering away before daybreak." Oh dear, oh dear. That sounds like a death flag. That sounds like she's going to die in the old world and she's not going to make it to whatever new world the Tsaritsa has planned. I don't think it's the Traveler that's going to kill her either, because the Traveler fumbled. The Traveler can't beat her, so something else is going to. Maybe she gets into a tussle with the Doctor. They already don't like each other. And the crazy thing is, everyone here's fighting for something. That's why they would all join the Tsaritsa. So I'm kind of wondering what's in it for all of them, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure Arlecchino wants just like a perfect future for her kids. Like realistically, I don't really even think it has anything to do with her herself. It's just about the ones that follow her. Dotori probably just wants to have a new playground to test his experiments. Basically what I'm getting at is I have a feeling that as we get closer and closer to the Gnosis, I feel like more and more of these Harbingers are going to start becoming a little antsy. And I feel like that's what will happen. Like I think for Arlecchino, something is going to happen within the Fatui ranks. And the only way I can see her dying is either by an Archon, a god of Celestia, someone from Conria, or one of the Harbingers. Like she's number 4. So I can only imagine the top 3, someone in the top 3 is going to kill her. And if I had to guess, it's going to be Dotori. So I can't think of anything else. Yeah, the top 3 are on the level of gods. So that would just suck, man. She did her job. Bro, out of all of the Harbingers, there have only realistically been like 4 that have done stuff, right? Rosalind, who died, but Rosalind secured Venti's Gnosis. Rosalind, with the help of Child, secured Zhongli's Gnosis. Scaramouche secured Raiden Shogun's and then took it for himself. And then Dottore secured Nahida's and then re-secured A's. And then she secured Focalor's. That just sucks that these motherfuckers are like, okay, your services are no longer required. Either they hired them with the intention of giving them something in return for their services, or they simply just hired them as like, hey, we have this plan and you'll be at the final victory lap once we succeed if you just do what you're told. Yeah, the field agents are most in the line of fire. Yeah, like I feel bad for all of the like the grunt worker, like the grunt soldiers, like anyone that's not a Harbinger, I feel bad for who's in the Fatui, because they're like getting the shit end of the stick. Pantalone and the mayor, Pusinella, they're all like just chilling at home waiting for other people to do the work. And now the Capitano, rank 1, bro's putting in work. That's crazy. And then when we go to Snezhnaya, they're all just gonna be there chilling. Syriza's plan will probably fail. I don't think so. I think her plan is actually gonna succeed. It's the aftermath of the plan succeeding. I think what counteracts the plan is the Loom of Fate. Like her plan can succeed, but then the Loom of Fate, I think, is gonna reverse. Like you're just gonna be able to reshape things in your image in the end game. So I actually think it will happen. And if they can harness those Gnosis, right? Like Nahida harnessed 2 to tap into Irminsul. So they can tap into Irminsul if they want. They have 5 right now. Actually, they have 6 at the moment. So they have 6 Gnosis. They can tap into Irminsul. They can rewrite the world. Lord knows what they can do with those things at this point. Do you think all Fatui Harbingers will be playable? Who's gonna tell them? Well, about that, no. Because one's already dead. If I hear one more person reference Ode to Resurrection as if that's not the Natlin Archon Quest plot for the Natlin Archon Quest characters, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. They're like, yo, the name Resurrection's in there. Who died in the game? Rosalind, so she's coming back because she's fire. That has to do with the dragons and the Pyro Archon. God damn it. Stop making Natlin about Rosalind. All right, let's wait till we get to Snezhnaya and then we can start talking about her. Stop taking the Pyro Archon's thunder away. Ode to Resurrection. Yo, they're gonna bring back Himiko Murata from the grave. All right, Himiko Murata is gonna be playable. Trust me when I tell you. Imagine that. That's the energy y'all are giving. Y'all that are like, yeah, Rosalind's gonna come back. Like, I'm pretty sure someone out there still thinks Himiko's coming back too. You know, they're hoping. Guys, Aether's in the party because bro is gonna be invited to join the Fatui ranks as the rank number 10. All right, we were the honorary knight in Mondstadt. We're the hero of Liyue. We're the captain of Swordfish 2. We're the first sage of Boer. We're the executioner of justice. We're gonna get another sick of like title in Natlin, and then we're gonna be the 10th of the Fatui Harbingers because the first Harbinger we beat was Child, so we automatically get bumped up one above him. We would have just gotten a big gap promotion if we beat Arlecchino, but that shit ain't happening. So yes, we are going to be the 10th Fatui Harbinger. No, we can't get credit for Rosalind because we didn't last hit her, so we didn't get any of the XP. That goes to Her Excellency, the almighty Narukami Agosho, God of Thunder. So she kill stole, so we don't get credit for that, unfortunately. Arlecchino is nice and comfy. We're gonna read our dank lore now. Character details. The Hotel Bouffe d'Ete, situated in the Vasari Passage, is a lovely building with clean walls and sparkling windows, and well-mannered, well-groomed children frequent it every day. Unlike other mansions of comparable beauty in the Court of Fontaine, the registered owner of this property does not live on sight. Indeed, nearby residents have not even heard of her. A signature on the relevant documentation is but a false identity. That's forgery, ma'am. The real power lies within someone else. But if one could hear the children whisper at night behind the hotel's closed gates, one would hear the appellation Father. When speaking of Father, some faces turn worshipful, other hearts are seized with fear, and still others look inscrutable, torn. But their tone always becomes one of respect. These children are part of the organization known as the House of the Hearth. They belong to the Fatui. This place is home to orphans the world over, and the luxurious hotel is but one of the house's faces. As for this father, the master of the house, she is none other than the knave, Arlecchino, presently fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. Hopefully for years and years to come, hopefully. Jesus. The Fatui and this Harbinger enjoy a mixed relationship, but to most of these children, father is the most important figure in their lives. It is only because father is here that this place is truly like a home. That's sweet as fuck. Home is where the father is. All right, so I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know that the hotel in Fontaine was just like another front orphans within I guess, I think they told us that. I may have forgotten. I wonder if she's got like little hotel markers across all of Teyvat, right? Just for like orphans in other locations and places, especially because she's traveled, like in her teaser, right? She traveled to, or her demo, I should say. She traveled to like Mondstadt, Inazuma, Fontaine, Sumeru. The only place she didn't go to is Liyue, and it might be, I don't know if Liyue is like, I don't know if Liyue just doesn't have like an orphanage problem or situation or whatever, if they're like that well off that there's not a lot of like orphaned families and things of that nature. But yeah, it seems like she kind of goes to all these other nations and tries setting up situations where orphans can be taken care of and are ultimately seen as an asset to the Fatui. I actually did see a comment in that demo video that was like, the reason why Arlecchino can't get any orphans from Liyue is because Cloud Retainer adopts them all. Yeah, I remember that. That is so funny. I actually would believe it wholeheartedly, completely, which is great because Shuyu joined Cloud Retainer as a disciple, which I'd much rather, I want that for her more than anything over joining the freaking Harbingers. So thank God for Cloud Retainer. All right, let us carry on. Character story 1. Almost all who have had dealings with the knave have felt the unseen oppressive weight that emanates from her. She commands any conversation with ease, and few can keep the secrets of their heart from showing on their faces when confronted by those unique eyes. It's because she puts your ass in a genjutsu. She forces you to be uneasy. Ever ruthless, she will settle affairs while talking and laughing, even being so considerate as to do those who come after a favor by rendering the area spotless, so not to traumatize them. Hello? What is she, cleaning up a murder scene? She's like, I don't want to make a hard time for these overworked and underpaid maid services. Let me clean up this act real quick. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like that one guy, like she had like the blood on her face. But none of that is what makes her most dangerous. The unknown has, after all, ever been the source of all dread. Even the children who interact with her on a day-to-day basis cannot claim to understand her. Not her hobbies, her dislikes, or the things on her mind when she gazes out at sea. Each August, they rack their brains thinking of birthday presents for her, and yet her reaction to each gift is virtually the same. Her birthday is, I believe her birthday is August 22nd, so it's right around, it's a couple months away. Her birthday will probably be the same month that Natlan releases. This continued until last year when Fremine was given a nasty shock by a lizard that leaped down from the ceiling. This little invader was caught by Linny's sharp eye and quick fingers and then imprisoned on top of a table with a bowl she swiftly seized. Both bowl and lizard wound up being taken for this year's gift by the knave, who just happened to return home at that moment. The next day, when Linny entered father's office to give a report, he found a familiar figure in the feeding box. The temperature and humidity within the box seemed to eminently suitable for the little lizard, which seemed to be quite enjoying itself. Ah, she didn't like kill it? That's nice. Father seemed to have experience in rearing reptiles. As the knave raised her teacup, Linny immediately shifted his gaze away from the lizard, but he quietly noted this incident to himself. The children seize every opportunity they can to get closer to their father after all. Thus, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine began looking up all sorts of knowledge regarding raising lizards, hoping to have something to discuss with father the next time they saw her. Just a few days later, when he next set foot in her office, the box was already empty. Father, what happened to that lizard? It attempted to open the box lid a few times, so I gave it back its freedom. Our acquaintance was brief indeed, but that was the choice life made. The knave's voice was completely calm. Looking at the confused Linny, she then directed a single finger at the bird that was poking about the windowsill. Ah, yes. Not long after it left, the lizard had become this one's lunch. Now it seems to want me to serve it seconds. Go chase it away. That is a rather unfortunate circumstance. It's like, hey, I had this little cute lizard as a pet. It was causing me trouble, so I was like, you know what? Let me give you your life back for all but like 3. That was like the circle of life in a sense. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate turn of events. So is life. You know what I mean? You can't plan for these things. But it does show to an extent like a compassionate, like calm and caring side of her. She was like, oh, you know, I'll take this as Fremine's gift and I'll watch over it until it bothers me. But then I actually think I saw a video like that when I was younger. It was really tragic, but it was very much like a similar situation. I think it was a video of like this girl who was like raising or like nursed back to health like a mouse or something, and then when it was healed or whatever, they put it back out in the wild and it went like walking away or whatever, and literally within seconds an eagle just fucking like a hawk just swoops down and takes it, and they caught it on video, and I was like, that fucking sucks. So I saw that too. Yeah, it was like a viral video at the time, but like this scene right here reminds me of that video, and I was like, that is unfortunate, but so is life, unfortunately. Character story 2. Vanity is but human, and adolescent children gradually gain awareness of beauty and homeliness. They begin to surreptitious don accessories and trim their split hair with scissors. Rebellious little tendencies such as these are no concern to father, nor will she interfere. But should a child reveal their position during a night operation on account of a necklace they would not lay aside, now that would require a father's instructions. Thus did Arlecchino enter the girl's room, a nightly handbag in hand. The necklace had already been taken off and placed on the table, and the girl stood trembling next to it. She knew her error. Arlecchino swooped up the necklace and gazed upon it before walking over and looping it back around the girl's unblemished neck. She then lifted the flowing gold lock around the girl's ear. Oh, you've pierced them yourself? And so father once more retrieved velvet ribbon and jeweled earrings from that bag, tying the girl's hair with the former and affixing the latter to her ears. Then, taking her by the shoulder, she guided the girl before the mirror. The young lady reflected within was as a gem-encrusted noble rose, her beauty shining through the unease that blazed across her features. It is normal to be vain at your age, but do not let these beautiful trinkets arouse vanity and dull your intellect. Yo. I fucking love her, dude. Don't become superficial, essentially. Don't let everything be about appearances and like what you see with your eyes. Let it be about what's in here, you know? Don't become stupid to vanity. I'm sorry, father. The young woman anxiously apologized, her terror evident. With quivering hands, she reached for the earrings, making to unfasten them. It won't happen again, I swear. But the mirror shows only father's unwavering calm, her smile seemingly undimmed. Shh. Do not be so nervous. People often long for that which they cannot have, and it would not do to regret to make beautiful memories even more rosier. Once you have grown accustomed to them, you will realize that no gem, however exquisite, is any more than an object, cold and dead. This is your new lesson, to understand the source of your emotions. Master them, use them. Never be their slave. Why is Arlecchino so goated? Holy shit. Wow. What a powerful lesson to impart on the youth. Admittedly, kids, teenagers, they're overly emotional. Everything is the worst thing that ever happened in their lives. No moment ever matters more than in that moment. And that's experience, you know, that's so true. Emotional intelligence is out the window at that age. But I like that. It sucks that these kids tread in fear, right? The father really doesn't have like a tender, warming, welcoming presence, but it's there. It's there in her words. It's there in her teachings. It's there in the things that they'll learn and never forget and carry on with them into their lives, you know? And I think that's like the #1 aspect of parenting that's like the most important. It's about like imparting those values and those lessons. And this is like a single instance with one character or one of her children in question, and this is how she treats all of them, I'm assuming. So yeah, absolutely love her. Such a great character, man. It's not simply just the actions either, because she could like reinforce that fear, but like raising kids in fear is not going to make them respect you. It's only going to make them, it's going to make them want to give you the reaction they expect you to want, and it's not going to be genuine. So I actually think that it's this specific action that she's giving that matters. And she's even saying, she's like, hey, keep the necklace, keep the earrings, wear them. I know you like them. I'm just imparting to you that this is just cheap material. This is not going to matter in the future. This isn't going to change who you are as a person. It's vanity. It's just for show. And eventually you will also realize that. But she's not taking that experience away. She's telling her, hey, this is what's going to happen, and allowing her to still have that experience instead of saying, do as I say, not as I do. You know what I mean? Like, she's not taking anything away from her in that sense. Yeah, and there's no resentment here as a result. She's teaching by letting them learn. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's ever anything that I've done in my life that I was like, yeah, I never did that because I was told not to do it, so I don't know what it's like. Obviously, there are some things I'm smart enough to know not to do, but I think a lot of the stuff that I learned, I learned through my own experience, regardless of what was told to me. And then I made the decision for myself, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. And then that just reinforces, oh, well, parents are parents. They've been there. Yeah, she didn't confiscate anything. Yeah, these kids are walking on eggshells, the poor things. Everyone's just like, oh man, my father, it's just that level of respect. It's hard to like, but I think over time that will mature. Like that lack of expressed love, it'll just mature into like implied love over time. Like, these are teenagers, you know what I mean? Like, I love that for her, and I love that for these kids. They have literally the best, like, they actually have a goddamn father in the game, you know what I mean? Like, that's a very rare thing indeed to find in this game. Most of them are, you know what's crazy? I was just about to say most of them are dead, and we just read that she apparently has death flags for the end game, which fucking sucks, because so did Timmy's dad, and so did Joel's dad for a time, and might still be if he's not sus Beto in disguise. And I'm just like, bro, this sucks so bad. Why do all the good parents get screwed over, man? I swear to God, being a father is a death flag. Yeah, Master Crepus, Razor's parents, like, fuck me, dude. Fantastic. Story 2, my favorite so far. I love her. Character story 3. Before Father rewrote the rules, the House of the Hearth had a wholly different face. The previous knave was named Crucibina. Of course, few used that name directly, and the children all called her Mother. And she seemed a perfect one. A friendly smile, a gentle demeanor, conscientious, caring of her family, and never without stories to tell her children. The antithesis of Arlecchino, and somehow Arlecchino is better. Yet, should you have been brought up in an even slightly ordinary environment, the tales she told would have curdled your blood and chilled you to the marrow. She would speak of unspeakable cruelties as if they were fairy tale fantasies, guiding the house members to mutual slaughter until the strongest amongst them was selected as king. She called herself a mother, but never saw the hearth as her home. To her, the unnumbered sacrifices were but an interesting experiment. Before taking the title of the knave and changing her name to Arlecchino, the young girl had another name, Perware. She was an orphan of unknown origin. Conria. She was an orphan of unknown origin, like all others in the House of the Hearth, a child of their mother. Many knew that Mother favored her especially, indeed, caring far more of Perware than even her own biological daughter, Clairvy. As such, even to the last, few understood why Perware repaid this kindness with a magnificent assassination. Crucibina's insane experimentation took place far from prying eyes. So naturally, almost nobody knew of them. Perware was thus tarred as having committed matricide, her madness known to all. Well, I've never heard of that before. Oh, the killing of one's mother. Okay. I've never heard of that term before. Matre, patre, so matricide mother, patricide father. Yeah, I've never heard of that term ever. Like, I didn't know there was a specific term for killing one's parents. I'm not well versed in that at all. Oh, fratricide is siblings? Jesus Christ. Yeah, mater and pater is Latin. That's how I should have known, but like, I haven't taken Latin since like I was in high school, which was ages ago. So yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that. You learn something new every day. Even after the dust had settled, she who had once been Perware was now Arlecchino, did not offer any explanation. She indulged the spreading of these rumors and indeed added fuel to the fire from the shadows. Whether as a diplomat or assassin, one profits most from seeing through the other party while keeping oneself shrouded in mystery. A small tombstone stands at the site where she slew her mother. The eulogy penned by her name. We did see it. It's actually in like like Tevat text, but it's decipherable. Here, the last light of the setting sun lies buried. Here, the coming dawn finds a welcome. So that's what the translated text there says, which is really cool. Yeah, so this was basically just like a synopsis of, you know, the animated short and what the game has told us. I actually think it's great that she kind of built up her animosity by like letting those rumors spread about her, because like she is feared and respected because of those rumors, and because she never cleared them up, that kind of works. Yeah, infamy, I guess is what I mean. Yeah, she used that infamy to her advantage, because by never clearing up any of those rumors, that just kind of that just helps her out so much more with being an authoritative and like a dangerous like threat for people. Character story 4. To hide her origins and consign the truth to the flames, Arlecchino has always proclaimed herself a Fontanian. Fake news! The truth is, however, that she discovered an ability to wield a strange flame from a young age. She attracted such curiosity that no one in her family knew of such power, but at her young age, this seemed like no ability to be boasted of so much as a deep-rooted curse. Each time she let her vigilance wane, this power would run rampant, eating away at her body. First her fingers, then her palms, and then her forearms. The blackened marks were akin to those of burned charcoal, just as she seemed akin to burning firewood. So that's like her ticking timer right there. When she was a kid, it was just her fingertips, and now, as far as we can see, it's her whole fucking arm. Here, she had a vague foreboding that if the dark shadow were to creep up her shoulders and snake from shoulder to heart, she would likely undergo some sort of change. Perhaps that would be the moment fate tipped its hand to her. Even without the corrosion, this flame brought her other troubles. Those rendered ash by these fires would leave after images. At times, they were fragments of memories, and at others, they donned the aspect of dazzling colors. As those who fell at her hand increased, Arlecchino began to hear various voices, screams, wails, and hurled recriminations would wake her from dreams, and she soon grew used to it. She had few dreams worth remembering fondly in any case. Filled at most were the crimson moon and barren wilds. In cases few and far between, these after images would be complete enough to take the form of a conscious individual. Of course, these were hardly as special as Clairvy's shadow, but they would still appear by Arlecchino's side, driving the clamor away and buying her a moment's respite. Like children at play, they would gather for a time and then drift away as they pleased. Arlecchino remembered who they were in life, but she would never call them by their names. That is interesting. So those are all the little spirits in her boss fight, are all people that she's killed in the past. I guess that does make sense. Yeah, but they weren't as complete as Clairvy, who was like a full-ass person, you know what I mean? Oh, wow. Has Arnold read the weapon? No, I'm gonna read the weapon after I read these, but before we get to the voice lines. Yeah, so when we were in the boss area, there was like a bunch of like spirits almost, and then there was also like a corrupt one. I don't know what that corrupt one was. I don't know if that was like someone that could be like her mom, or like in general just some like really terrible person that we just don't know of from her past. So I wonder why it does. Well, I guess it's a form of resurrection when you think about it. If the Crimson Moon Dynasty created alchemy, and that alchemy, maybe that's a primitive version of what led to Chemia being like the definitive creation of life, because she's not really creating life as much as she's creating like the remains of life, right? It's like an after image of someone that was once alive. She's preserving the essence of a life that is past. But it also did mention that these can be fragments of memories, which are connected to like ley lines happen to the memories of the world. So I don't know if this power has anything to do with ley line energies. I can't wait till we go to Conria, because I feel like this is where we're eventually gonna learn about the world building, the history of everything of that place. I firmly believe that with how Hoyoverse expands on all of their other nations, I feel like when we go to Conria, that's when we're gonna finally learn about like the Crimson Moon Dynasty, all the shit that they did, to what extent they did it, etc., for both the Crimson Moon and the Eclipse Dynasty. So this is definitely a tease, but I kind of want to know more, but you can't really know more because it doesn't seem like it didn't start with Arlecchino. It's just ending with her. Character story 5. After meeting the Tsaritsa, being bestowed with a delusion, and inheriting the name Arlecchino, the young knave was also granted an individual audience with her superior. Director Piero's expression lay hidden behind his half mask. I know you still harbor dissatisfaction and doubt. As such, I will answer 5 of your questions. What? I better get these questions when I meet this man. Dainsleif asked me 3, and they were basic-ass questions that had to do with me. As such, I will answer 5 of your questions concerning the world or concerning yourself. You need not ask for guarantees from me. Ask about our programs and principles or about Her Majesty's ideals. Those I can answer freely and without reservation. Damn, bro is such a real one. He's like, yeah, you don't have to waste your questions on these. I'll give you those answers regardless. Arlecchino did not wholly trust the jester's open honesty. Then let me also state that I reject any deliberate mystifications or obfuscations, as well as word games and lies. Most prudent. In that case, allow me to answer the first question weighing on you. Why did we choose you, and why did you accept? The naive will die for their ideals, but we are willing to endure even the meanest existence to accomplish our goals. Question 3. What do my constant dreams of a crimson moon and my powers mean? Are we getting Piero lore right now? Are you serious? I once served the final dynasty of an ancient underground kingdom. Its dynastic name was Eclipse, and before them came the Crimson Moon. As for the secrets from before your birth, I suggest you purchase a book. There's no shot. Bro, I knew Piero could confirm it. I suggest you purchase a book named Cleobranto Inomorato, aka Perrin Harry. I read no such tales in the days when I pursued academic attainment, and I saw it only by chance. The circumstances depicted are specious, but the key details are accurate. There's no way. Oh my, bro is like, yo, read Perrin Harry in version 4.5. I wonder if she's Perrin Harry's descendant. Wow, that book is insane. Thank God I read that book before all of this. Holy moly. Damn, imagine Piero telling you to read lore in 2024. That's wild. Bro is like, yeah, I was too busy in the books. I didn't read it myself, but I just saw it. And lo and behold, there's a book about it right now in Fontaine. But like originally it was Cleobranto Inomorato, but it's now known as Perrin Harry in present. Oh my God. Yeah, she must be a descendant of that time. From that time. Like from some, I'm sorry, she must be a descendant of someone during that time, which I think it was Perrin Harry. That's the name of the book in present. And like why, and like he lived, he left, he went to the outside world. She wasn't born in Conria. For someone to have been in Conria at that time, right? Perrin Harry, that fucking Angelica witch lady that we think is Istaroth in some way, set him free and let him go to the outside world. And then he went out and lived his life and probably had kids, and those kids had kids, and da-da-da-da-da, and now we're here. Maybe kind of, sort of. I don't know. We'll see. Question 5. What will become of me and the others in the House of the Hearth once everything is finished? I will be frank. None of you have any place in my ideals. Jesus Christ. For I plan only to uphold the virtue of folly. But I can guarantee that our Tsaritsa will once again be a god who loves all humans. And in her ideals shall all humans' wishes be granted. What the fuck? This virtue of folly was of course left enigmatic, but she accepted this answer nonetheless. The fool had given 5 answers to her 5 questions, and the mist that covered her eyes was beginning to part. Arlecchino, Piero called out to her as she departed, and she turned around. Rather than dwelling on how the world is now, you should consider to where it should go. The sounds of her parting footsteps as she spun on her heel and kept walking were the only reply. I think Tsaritsa is the goddess of love, like a lot of us suspected. Also, I'm pretty sure we only got 3 of those answers, right? We got the first question, the 3rd question, and the 5th question. This is some bullshit. I wanted all of them, god damn it. Is she the original 7? To answer your question, no, she is not the original. The only original archons is Venti and Zhongli. So there was a previous cryo archon who's probably dead, just like Makoto, just like Ruka Devada, just like Ajiria, just like Himiko Murata is probably already dead now, and we got to find out what happened to him. And that's why I think, because she's the goddess of love, you know, theory crafting right here, because she's the goddess of love, I want the previous cryo archon to be someone that she loved. And if the Tsaritsa is Bronya now, that's why I want the previous one to be Zila, because they're connected in all of the other Hoyoverse games that they're in. So that's why I think that that's the case. That's why I want the Cryo Archon's relationship with the previous Archon to be love. I want the Pyro Archon's previous relationship to be like master and apprentice. And I basically called that the previous relationship with Egeria and Focalor was mother-daughter. So like, that's what I've been coasting on that this entire time. And that's what I hope. I think it may be Cocolia. I actually think Cocolia was Rosalind. Well, that's just me. And you know why? Because Cocolia's dead in Honkai Star Rail. I don't know about Honkai Impact 3rd. I haven't made it that far. So yeah, that's what I want. I've been saying that shit for over a year now, and I prayed that it comes true. Not an actual ghostwriter, by the way. But yeah, what the fuck, man? We got Piero freaking Lore in here. Are you kidding me? This is insane. This is so cool. Anyways, what is this? Morel. The House of the Hearth uses many code words to maintain operational security and secrecy. And of these, Morel was personally selected by the Knave herself. Morel takes its meaning from a popular Fontanian children's game. Boxes subsequently marked with numbers are drawn out on the ground. A sandbag is thrown on the top of the box, and the player will jump from box to box in a specific order. No one knows when the game began to spread, nor who created the rules, but all young children of the Hearth have experienced being taken by older children to play the game. Light-footed leaps, boisterous laughter, the memories marred to Morel were always wonderful, like the kiss of radiant sunshine. Wait, is this hopscotch? Oh, it's like drawing the things. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so it's hopscotch. As such, at first the children were perplexed when their father was torn between assigning at ease or danger to that code word. Little did they know that the house that came before Morel was not a game. Oh shit. Oh dear. Did it mean something else in the other House of the Hearth? Morel was no game. In those days, each and every child would leap into the boxes one by one under the vigilant eyes of the adults. Stepping out of line or breaking the rhythm was not allowed. There was never a need to ask the punishment for making a bad jump, for the area outside of the boxes was lined with upturned blades. Those who lost their balance, whose stamina failed, that would be me, I would literally die in this event, or simply made an error out of fear. So many fell beyond the bounds, and the dark red soil mourned that painful past. None would have associated it with being at ease. Indeed, few could speak of it without blanching. Yet after her hesitation, Arlecchino chose at ease as the code words meaning that day. Morel was by then no longer associated with danger. Now all that came to mind when this game was mentioned were smiling faces. This is so fucked up, man. This is so sad. In which case she thought, let those unhappy memories dwell in her heart alone. Let the blood and dust be wiped away, for should children not see a broader future. Bro, she literally burdens her past so well. Like, she harbors her past so well and keeps it from them, because like no one deserves to go through that. And it sucks that she even had to go through that to learn how to be better than that. I was not expecting the story to take a turn that way. I thought that's how the game always was, but the game is so playful and cheerful now because it comes from a dark and bloody past. Good Lord, man. She is amazing. Is it crazy that I want to be half of the father that she is? Like, she's such a great fucking role model for these kids. I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, obviously, clearly things are gonna be much different. I did not have nearly as terrible as an upbringing as she did, or all this crazy shit that's going on. But like, I hope I can instill good values. I hope I can impart wisdom based on the things that happened to me that I wish hadn't, or the experiences I went through that I wish hadn't. Yeah, I just really love this. I won't be nearly as scary. I don't think I'm able. I don't think I have like a scary aura to me at all. Oh, and this is an interesting one. Her vision, right? She has a delusion. She's got a vision. She's got her crimson fire and all that. Arlecchino has many sources of power. The ancient Bale Moon blood fire burns within her. Jesus Christ. The noble blood serving as both curse and blessing. This was her first support. The merciful Saritsa pardoned her matricide and granted her a delusion. Proof of royal favor and a badge of honor. This was the third time she obtained a source of power. Oh, so she got her vision before she got her delusion. Between these two, oh no, actually, I hope it wasn't when she killed her friend. Between these two, the girl who still called herself Perware received a vision. While Clairvy yet lived, Perware had mooted the idea of assassinating Mother to her. Oh, actually, wait, didn't she use... Was she using a vision during the fight? Because I saw like regular fire in that fight, so I actually think she was... I think she got her vision before the fight with Crucibina. Between these two, the girl who still called herself Perware received a vision. While Clairvy yet lived, Perware had mooted the idea of assassinating Mother to her. Perhaps she lacked confidence, or perhaps it was their familiar bond. It was their trauma bonding. Perhaps it was their familial bond that yet shackled her. But Clairvy refused. Clairvy's destiny concluded when the cold blade pierced her. But as she slipped away towards death, she was truly happy, for she had finally found her freedom. But for the living Perware, fate gears had only began to turn. The experiment to select a king was over, but Mother's ambition was far from fulfilled. Perware thus decided to undertake the plan that had once been shelved solo. From that day on, she silently calculated the gap between herself and Mother. Her martial skills were the fruit of her mother's tutelage, and the strength flowing through her bloodlines were laid bare before Mother. And what was a child before adults but a nestling, even one who had emerged as ruler of the Roost? But what her life of suffering up until now had not taught her was how to give up. Thus, Perware constantly honed herself. Though her body became riddled with scars from constant battles, though her arms had turned black from baleful blood fire she could not completely control, until one moonlit night a vision came to her without warning or portent. The round vision lined up perfectly with the moon, and glimmering gem tinted the latter crimson. Was this her wish? Was she merely the fruit of hundreds of days and nights of ceaseless thoughts? Such a question was doomed to remain unanswered, and so she did not obsess over it. She merely concealed the vision in the place closest to her heart before sending Mother a pleasant little surprise. Oh my god. So yeah, I think she had the vision during that fight, because you see like blasts of fire, and they weren't like the same deep red that her crimson powers give off. As a Fatui Harbinger, Arlecchino bows before no god. Though it represents the institution of the Seven, she always takes meticulous care of this vision. To her, this is proof of her defiance of fate, wrestling from it command over her future. So she literally has triple fire support. So like my question is, why did the Sarita then decide, let's triple down? You got blood fire, vision fire, and now delusion fire. Like, damn, you couldn't mix it up a little bit? Especially because Child is the only Harbinger that we fought that has like, that mixed his like vision and delusion. And I remember when we initially fought him, I thought that's how the dynamic was gonna go for all the Harbingers. I don't think Scaramouche ever had a vision. Like, he was a puppet. He just had like divine powers. And then she has both, but it's both fire. So it's kind of like, it's just more fire, I guess. It's not very interesting. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if she's, you know, it's the house of the hearth, right? The fire that warms the house for the kids. It makes a lot of sense for her themes and for her role. But yeah, the triple mono pyro team is crazy. Rosalind, well, the thing is, Rosalind was an elemental pyro being, but she had a cryo delusion to keep her from burning herself. But yeah, I guess she had two. She didn't use them in tandem like Child did. Like, Child's first phase was Hydro, then his second phase was Electro, and then his third phase was Hydro, Electro, and Abyss, which I thought that was what made it so cool, because it was like a merging of all of his assets. Whereas Signora was one phase ice, one phase fire, and then that was it. Why is the vision Snezhnayan if she received it in Fontaine? I don't really think that could be a fate thing. That could just be correlating her to her fate in the future when she joins the Fatui, because there isn't always a rhyme or reason. Like, the casing itself could be tied to the fate, but the vision seems, I don't know if the vision is arbitrary or if there's like a deeper, like, and I know there's theories out there about the visions and how all of the characters within a specific element have like a rooted commonality. And that's the thing too. She got hers in Fontaine, but it's a Snezhnayan casing, but she's not from Fontaine either. So like, I don't know if it even explains where she's from, because it's clear that she's just a descendant of the Crimson Moon Dynasty's powers. She's not from that time, I don't think. Yeah, Scaramouche is from, technically he's from Inazuma. That's where he was created. He was created by the Raiden Show, well, created by A. She was a orphan of the House of the Hearth, which means she belonged to the Fatui. So Snezhnaya affiliations. I want to know what Piero's grand master plan is. Obviously, they refer to the Seven as like an institution, like the institution of the Seven. And it's like, yeah, you guys are just this like, it's like that SpongeBob moment. It's like,
we are workers united. it! We're tired of your smelly greed, and we're gonna saw your tables, and we're gonna smash stuff with the people's hammer, and we're gonna... Squidward, what was that other part?
Dismantle your oppressive establishment.
And it's like, that's what they're doing. They're dismantling the oppressive establishment of Teyvat, and they're taking down the Seven, and they're taking down Celestia, and everything else in between. And if you're not with them, then you're against them. And this is the Saritsa's plan, by the way. So something must have happened in her life of the past for her to come to this conclusion. Whatever and I think they got her lover killed. I think they got Zila killed, and Bronia's had enough. And she's like, this sucks. Yeah, I guess the 6, not the 7, technically. She's like, this sucks. I'm literally going to change the world. And they need all the no-sees to do it. I actually think that's what happened. Because you know what? Love is motivation enough. I've watched enough shows. I've seen enough media to know that love is so powerful, it can make or break the world. And so I would not be surprised if that's the motivation for the Saritsa. And she even said, and it even says too, it's like, she is a god with no love left for her people, nor do they have any love left for her. Like, she doesn't care about who she's got to walk over, who's gonna get stomped on in the process. All of this is a means to her goals. And so in the end, love might actually win. But then I feel like it's gonna devolve into like a dystopian like realization that like, even if you do this, it's not gonna change what's happened. Unless the Luma Fate is literally like a new reality like Irminsul, and it's not just like this weird fucking make-believe dream. This isn't real life, but this is like the best we can do. Unless it's not that, like, and it's actually like changing fate and like rewriting existence to where like the bad things that happened don't happen anymore, the people that died aren't dead anymore, etc. I think she's definitely capable of winning. I also don't know what this Project Stuja plan is. I think that might be the Saritsa's plan. The Abyss have a plan, the Saritsa have a plan, and then you have He Only Does Everything Dainsleif trying to stop all of it. He's like, I gotta stop Celestia and the Abyss and save the world. And I'm just like, sir, can you just tell me where my sister is? Can you just give me something, please? All right, enough yapping. Let's continue. We're gonna be reading the Crimson Moon Semblance, one of the weapons of Conria, it seems. The Crimson Moon Dynasty era weapon. A keen-edged weapon, luster dazzling as the Crimson Moon. It is said that an ancient dynasty once regarded it as a ritual object that could bridge two worlds, but none still remember the beliefs and ceremonies of that bygone age. Piero would like to have a word with you. Oh, High Lord of the nobles of Conria, the Crimson Red Moon has long since fallen into the abyssal firmament. What a fucking line, bro. And the blindness of your blood has ended your line. O benevolent Lord, whom leadeth us, could you still pity the children of humanity? Then drink deep the wine in this cup. Holy shit. It was an ancient era, before the Eclipse Dynasty's light illuminated the underground, and an ancient and glorious clan had ruled that vast kingdom. The dogmatic priests convinced the muddle-minded king upon the throne that the remnants of the crimson moon in the sky ruled all. For it is the color of the moonlight that flows beneath mortal flesh, and the darkness hidden within the bottom of the abyss shall too emerge from the crimson moon. This being so, the king of humanity shall take upon himself the name of the crimson moon, and by the light and flames of two worlds judge fickle fate. Thus they yearn for transcendent individuals who built countless glorious towers and prayed for the long dead crimson moon to bring them salvation. Upon the astrologists branded as heretics, glimpsing to the inverted image of the false sky, the origin of all the world's fate. Oh my god. Until the unquenchable flames of doubt and fury blazed upon the dreamless realm like wildfire, finally burning to the moonlit hued palace itself. Bro, that's a fucking dank ass line. I guess in general, this is just expressing that the Crimson Moon Dynasty is kind of slowly falling out of favor. It's like reaching the end of its life cycle. You have these dogmatic priests convince the muddle-minded king that the Crimson Moon ruled, like, everything in the skies were ruled by them. But I don't know if that's necessarily true at this point in time. Like, they're slowly, it seems like they might be losing power. This being so, the king of humanity took it upon himself the name of the Crimson Moon, and by the light and flame of two worlds judged fickle fate. And then they actually brought up the false sky for the first time, and I think they were divining, like they were basically trying to like interpret manipulate fate using the false sky. They took a glimpse in the inverted image of the false sky, which is the origin of the world's fate. Mona's gonna have a fucking field day, bro. Yeah, I guess that's hydromancy. Yeah. Gosh, we need Barbeloth so bad. I think that's when Barbeloth is gonna come into the picture, when we get this false sky narrative like fully figured out, because that's Mona's master. By the time of the blackened sun, so by the time of the Eclipse dynasty, the name of the crimson moon had long faded along with the crimson that had flowed. Only the epithet Bale Moon remained to stain the lingering detritus. Whether the unclean who suffered from the curse or those unblemished ones not yet tainted by fate, none would again consider themselves a follower of the moon's remnants. Few survived the utter destruction of their kind, hiding in the shadows where the sun did not shine, longing for the crimson moon to decree their desire for vengeance be repaid. So they basically got thrown out of power, and there was pretty much no one left. I wonder who it was then that carried on the bloodline that then I honestly think it may have been Perrin Harry, because he got out in that story, and so Arlecchino might be the descendant of Perrin Harry. And so from this, it seems very few survived the utter destruction. So basically, the Eclipse dynasty moves in, kills everybody, hostile takeover. The Crimson Moon's decree for vengeance being repaid, I think, will be through Arlecchino. But the so-called repayment, oh damn, but the so-called repayment never came. Oh, I mean, this is long con. It's not gonna come back in their lifetime, it'll come back in a future one. But the so-called repayment never came, and the dark sun fell to the same ignorance and arrogance. Uh-oh. You believed in the abyss? You fucked around and found out? Fate, fate, oh terrifying and pale fate. Why must you abase yourself and submit to such a tyrannical usurper? If the Bale Moon's remnants have already sealed your doom, what meaning could be found in the blood vengeance of bygone days? If the destiny she wove mocks us so, then let us mock destiny as loudly as we may, until the last shadow of the ashen sun burns away the old world, until the crimson moon witnesses the immaculate dawn. If the destiny she wove mocks us so, who's she? Let us mock destiny as loudly as we may. The destiny she wove. Gold, Istaroth. You know something else I just had a thought of? You know how there's been like a cyclical cycle within Teyvat, right? It was Hyperborea, then it was Notlantian, then Remoria, and now it's like Carinaria or whatever. I wonder if that's a result of the Loom of Fate. Like, I wonder, someone has already changed fate, and by someone changing fate, that's what creates a new cycle. And so when Aether reaches the end of his journey, and he decides the Loom of Fate, a new cycle of Teyvat will be created, and that could potentially be the last cycle if this is where the journey of Genshin Impact ends. I was just thinking that. I'm like, I wonder if that's just the result of someone going on a journey like Aether, but a little different, and every change they make restarts the cycle for someone next down the line. Like, or whatever the case might be. Yeah, so it's just one big Teyvat's just one big Samsara. Yeah, 4 Descenders, 4 cycles. But the confusing aspect was that the 3rd Descender died, so it's like, if that did happen, I wonder if the 3rd Descender managed to change anything in the world before they died. But yeah, obviously there's like Thanos, there's Nibelung, allegedly, there's Aether, and then there's another one, which I'm not entirely sure who that one is. Didn't Lumine do the same? That's why there's no memories of Aether and Teyvat? I have no idea what Lumine did. Lumine could have very well been a Descender when she arrived in Teyvat, but a Descender is equivalent to that of someone's will rivaling a world. And if her will has faltered over her time in Teyvat, or if it's or rather, if it's been obfuscated, because Nahida even said that something is obfuscating her fate, someone could have just nerfed her somehow and made it so that she can't be a Descender that has the same capabilities as Aether right now. Could be the Sinner. It could be the fact that she's relying on the Abyss. Yeah, she can just have a weak mindset. But yeah, this was a stunning read, though. A lot of it feels very, it really just reads as like, these were our final moments as the Crimson Moon Dynasty before being usurped by the next succession line, or rather the next dynasty line, and they wanted to have their cake and eat it. They wanted to take revenge, but they couldn't. And the same thing that cursed the Crimson Moon Dynasty eventually happened to the Eclipse Dynasty. So the same level of arrogance and ignorance. I mean, that's what the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles said to Aether and Lumine, right? She said the arrogation of mankind ends here. So she could have probably also been talking about Conria as a whole, because that's just a place made up completely of humans. We also have individuals that we don't know anything about. Vertifulnir, Sertology, Rhine-Daughter. You know, Skirk mentioned that Rhine-Daughter is very akin to them, which I assume that those are also, I'm gonna say that those are Conry. I'm gonna make the assumption. I'm not gonna carry this on with me forever because I don't want to, like, this is not fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if those individuals are also of Conrian origin, like Rhine-Daughter, because all their names are kind of rooted in Norse, like, derivatives. They're like very Norse inspired, and that's the that's what Conria seems to be based on, especially with the names. So, and it would make sense if that's how Rhine daughters like them, because they're all very interesting. So this is like a big piece of lore of the transfer of power of Conria from one dynasty to the other, and in the end they met the same fate, which is very much unfortunate. All right, gamers, let us clean up. This is the part I'm also incredibly excited about, because she's gonna give us a little piece of information of all the Harbingers.
I am the knave, Arlecchino, fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. The children of the House of the Hearth call me Father. I do hope our partnership proves to be a pleasant one, although I would imagine that should be fairly easy. After all, there's no cause for contention between us at the moment. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know what Chiori or I don't know what Chiori's like hello intro is, but like this one and Cloud Retainers is kind of lengthy, especially because they've now inserted the hello greeting again to the character, like when you pull a character for the first time. So you're just sitting there at the screen just waiting for them to finish talking so you can finish your 10 pull. And I just think it's so funny that like the Knave was also one that went on for a little bit, and I was like, sheesh. Chiori's is longer than this one. Yeah, I saw someone streaming that pulled for Cloud Retainer and hers just went on and on. I'm like, oh my god. So I just thought it was really funny.
Staring into my eyes is ill-advised. I can't promise you'll like what you see.
That line has a completely different meaning now after the fight. Insane. I don't even want to look her in the eyes now.
What could the children be up to? Never mind. Let them do as they please. Something you wish to report? Go on. You have my undivided attention.
I haven't heard some of these weather ones.
Fear not. What's a little thunder when even lightning wouldn't dare strike our path?
The Electro Archon would like to have a word with you.
Only in the grip of winter do people truly appreciate the warmth of flames.
Says the triple mono pyro character.
This kind of weather is more enjoyably spent under the cover of shade.
She's trolling, right? You're a triple mono pyro character and you hate the sun?
I would advise you to keep your secrets close to your chest. Divulge them too easily, and you never know where the wind might carry them.
Venti? She warning us about Venti? What's going on here? The wind's fine, okay? The wind's my best friend. All right, don't talk shit about my boy.
Good morning. Any plans for today? Whenever I return home at midday, I often find the children sprawled across the ground in the midst of sleep. A certain level of fatigue is common at this hour. Perhaps you too should rest a bit before we head out.
Okay.
It is said that the moon is like an eye, gazing down upon the mortal plane. We have merely grown accustomed to its scrutiny.
Bruh. Yeah, she definitely saw it, chat. She definitely descended the hearth.
Time to retire for the night. Oh, can't sleep, you say? Well, I'm afraid you'll have to figure something out for yourself. I have a certain suspicion my solution won't be to your liking.
Read me a bedtime story. Damn, am I trying to like riz her up right now? What the hell?
Seeing yourself clearly is a difficult task indeed.
Ooh.
Perhaps even a thankless one. After all, they say those who lack adequate powers of self-perception often lead a happier existence.
Ignorance is bliss. I love the way she put that, though. That's so funny.
On occasion, I hear others whisper in secret, calling me cold and cruel. People are free to believe as they wish.
True.
And I don't intend to clear up their misconceptions. Prejudice has a way of concealing the truth, and that is hardly to my disadvantage. Still, I believe the time has come for certain measures to be taken to live up to their expectations.
Damn.
Let's just hope those on the receiving end of these measures have enough power and status to escape with their lives.
Yeah, she's like, I'll let people talk their shit, but every so often, someone's gonna see that some of those rumors are actually true, and they're gonna wish they hadn't.
Our ideals are not entirely aligned. If we are to work together, we must be willing to compromise. To that end, I'm willing to share certain secrets with you. Information that I choose not to reveal, however, is best left unexplored.
Yeah.
For your own good, of course.
Yeah. Let's respect her wishes, chap.
The children simply adore your stories.
Aw.
They often ask me when you're coming around again. I do hope you won't let them down.
Oh, okay.
Betraying their expectations comes with a price. Perhaps that's something worth your consideration.
As long as it's not Foltz, I'm cool. Bro, Foltz had the biggest turn up, dude. Turned coat with the quickness. You people make me sick. How dare you say bad things about father? Like, actually a rat. But the second everything turns around, he's like, oh man, I love you guys. You're my family. I'm like, come on, dude. Yeah, him, they weren't wrong about him.
For the longest time, there wasn't anything I desired. Until the idea
And bro
came to
kills
me to
animals.
assassinate Crucibina. It was a ludicrous thought then.
Oh, let me read this again.
For the longest time, there wasn't anything I desired. Until the idea came to me to assassinate Crucibina. It was a ludicrous thought then. She was a harbinger, famed and experienced. And nearly everything I knew about fighting was taught by her hand.
Damn.
However, it appears you need only desire something with sufficient intensity and the gods will answer.
The gods.
In the end,
Allegedly.
I gained a vision. And after making certain sacrifices, I mastered this power.
Oh my god.
Surpassing one's teacher often requires the pursuit of the unexpected.
Certain sacrifices? She's like, yeah, I took it out for a little test run on some treasure hoarders, some hilly churls, if you will. Good lord.
Flames course through my body like blood. This may be nothing but a figure of speech to some, but for me, it's the harsh reality of my existence.
You know what's cool about that though? That same like potion thing that she made, that she had like the members of the House of the Hearth drink so that way they would lose their memories. She said too, she was like, that's gonna burn going down. It's gonna like burn throughout your entire body. So it's almost kind of like her state of being. Yeah, bottled flame. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the bottled flame that she made for the orphans too, give off that same kind of idea. You gotta go through a little bit of something that I go through all the time if you want out. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think she literally has flames throughout her body, the crimson flames.
The aurora in Snezhnaya is quite beautiful. Certainly worth a visit.
Guys, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see the auroras of Snezhnaya in a year and a half from now. It's gonna be great, but also really sad, but also finally awesome that we're there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how Hoyoverse is gonna like Snezhnaya. I think the 3 regions that are gonna have the biggest impact on the game, Genshin Impact, or the 3 regions that have or will have the biggest impact on the game was Inazuma, because that was the first nation that came out after the game release. So there was like a huge like amount of hype and build up and expectations. Sumeru, primarily because of the incorporation of Dendro. So 2.0, 3.0, and Snezhnaya. I think those are like the 3 most important regions of the game in terms of like expectations, build up. Yeah, like just mainly those 2 things. I think like Fontaine was great, but like we knew it was coming. But like Snezhnaya has been like what the entire journey seemingly has been leading up to, right? With the Fatui from day 1. And I mean this primarily from like the player perspective. Like Inazuma was huge. We had Mondstadt and Liyue for an entire year. Sumeru was huge because it fundamentally changed the game with the inclusion of Dendro, and Snezhnaya mainly for the story, because it's like it's literally like the final act. Conria, yeah, I would say that too, but like I almost want to consider like Snezhnaya is like where the rest of that stuff will follow up, but I actually do think it's Snezhnaya that's a little bit more important in terms of its impact it'll have.
I once had a pet spider named Bambi. Raising spiders is quite fascinating. They cannot be domesticated like cats or dogs.
Oh my god.
And the affection bestowed upon them will not be returned, and they require little investment in terms of care. It's the kind of relationship that suits me perfectly.
Well, I guess we know why the spider died. You named it Bambi. Nothing good happened. The first thing that happens in them. You think Bambi's a happy, playful movie? Oh, man. Aw, a pet spider named Bambi. I like the name. The name's cute, but it's got history. And it's not very wholesome. At least not in the beginning. So... yeah, Hoyoverse did that shit on purpose. I'm calling it.
Clairvy once asked me what a real home looks like.
Aw.
But I had no answer for her. How could any of us know the answer when the House of the Hearth is made up entirely of people who never had a place to call home?
Exactly.
By killing Crucibina, I was able to assume the identity of father and rebuild the house under a new set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I'm well aware that even with these efforts, the house is far from that ideal.
Oh.
As for what a real home truly looks like, I suppose that question is best put to the side for now.
I love this.
Perhaps one day, Linny will be able to give me a new answer.
I love that so much. She's giving Linny the life that she feels will be able to sufficiently lead him to the answer that he would probably give is the life that she set for them. None of the kids have to kill each other. You know, you don't gotta go hungry. You don't have to go cold at night. You just have to prove yourself. You gotta put in the work. You gotta prove your strength, and you gotta like not be a shithead sometimes, you know? Wow. Yeah, she's so great. She's such a great parent.
Lynette's uniquely calm personality is also her strength. And I believe she is more than clever enough to recognize that.
Aww.
She's an irreplaceable part of that little team of 3. And I would imagine that role brings her much joy. As her father, my duty is merely to give her the space to put those talents to good use.
God, I love how she's just like, she's hyping up her kids. This is so sweet. Yeah, she's like, oh, God, I love this.
Fremine has a complex mind and often hides his emotions.
I was also gonna say that too. Like, all 3 of them are very cool, calm, collected with their emotions, especially. And I think that's like the number one teaching of Arlecchino. She's like, don't let your emotions own you, and if you control yourself, don't give too much into sorrow, don't give too much joy into anger, find a balance in the middle, and you'll be good. Well, maybe not Linny, but like she says, Lynette's super calm and Fremine hides his emotions, so 2 for 3. I think that's good.
Fremine has a complex mind and often hides his emotions. He blames himself for things that aren't his doing and allows them to eat away at his conscience.
Yeah.
I would imagine the other children might find it difficult to understand his manner of thinking. But you seem to share a similar delicate sensibility. Perhaps you two would make good friends.
I think they actually make a good trio because it seems like they all have something that the other lacks. Yeah, Fremine's great. I relate to that so much, blaming himself for things that he didn't do. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm sorry. No, she's not calling him weak. I just like he's got a lot of soul search. He's got a lot of like internal work to do with himself. You know what I mean? He's a kid. You know, kids are hard on them. Well, teenagers even are hard. Like, people are always more hard on themselves than they need to be, or than they should be, I should say. Very delicate.
Monsieur Nervalette intentionally maintains a certain distance in professional and private settings. Many say this makes him cold and unfeeling, but I believe the truth is just the opposite.
True.
In order for all beings to be treated equally under the law, a certain level of emotional distance is expected. Maintaining that kind of indifference is in itself a demonstration of kindness.
What fantastic characters, bro. I can't say enough good things about these characters, man. Without a doubt, the best part of the game. Like, especially in how like, I just love how accurate they perceive each other too. Like, Neuvillette is so pure. Pure as water, some would say. And never thought I'd love Arlecchino as much as I do now. Yo, she owes Farina a goddamn apology. I swear to God, I'm so mad about that. I'm still so mad about the Archon quests.
I asked Linny to deliver an assortment of cakes for her theater troupe to enjoy during tea time. The children made the cakes themselves as a gesture to express the support and enthusiasm of her audience.
Aww.
I do hope she enjoys them.
Okay, is this the olive branch or technically, is this the cake that she's sending as like the olive branch? Like, hey, no hard feelings, right? I'm sorry I tried to kill you in that alleyway that one time when you were just playing with a random cat at like in the middle of the night by yourself. But I didn't kill you. I knew you weren't the Archon. I did my part.
When I was imprisoned, it was the Tsaritsa who pardoned me and gave me the title of Harbinger.
Here we go.
I could sense she was a person of true sincerity and compassion, unlike all those pompous hypocrites with their posturing and rhetoric. Yet, it's difficult to say whether her compassion alone is enough to melt the ice and snow that permeates her land.
Oh, God.
All I can say is this. If we are forced to be at odds one day, I will raise my weapon against her without hesitation. Because that is the greatest level of respect I am able to bestow.
Oh. Oh my God. Bro, she's literally fucking dying. I'm so angry. Yo, child tells no lies, bro. Oh, was it Scaramouche? It was the Wanderer? Hold on. Let's verify real quick. Let's see. I actually want to go. I haven't heard some of their older voice lines in a while, but now that we have Arlecchino, I want to rehear what these others said about her.
Look, I've got nothing against people who have their own agendas. I myself joined the Fatui to get more experience in combat. But I don't like her at all. If she stood to benefit from betraying others, she'd turn against the Tsaritsa in a heartbeat. There isn't a sane bone in her body.
Child called this shit like 2 years ago, bro. Oh my God. He's like, my Tsaritsa should never have added her to the clubhouse. All right, and what about Wanderer?
A wolf in sheep's clothing. To exert a higher level of control over people, she puts on a graceful and cordial front. Most of those who have seen her true crazy self have gone poo.
Damn, bro, that was almost me yesterday, chat. Holy shit. I looked into her eyes. I saw the crazy. She let me go. All right, she did me a kindness. If we were forced to be at odds one day, I will raise my sword against her without hesitation. So Arlecchino is literally claiming that she will fight the Tsaritsa if the Tsaritsa six her Harbingers on us, which is like prime grade A moment for someone in the Harbingers to kill her. And I'm pretty sure, like we said earlier, wouldn't be surprised if it's the Doctor. This sucks, man. Yeah, Arlecchino is definitely dying in the endgame. What a great character. I'm gonna hate that day. You guys thought yesterday was bad.
As the original Harbinger,
okay,
much about him remains a mystery. Upon our first meeting, he recognized my background with ease. Yet, to this day, I know little about him.
Wow, bro knows everything about everybody. I mean, bro's a royal mage, so he's got some like crazy magic. I wouldn't be surprised if he can tap into divination or the divine or predicting people's fates and all that, you know? Dainsleif knows everything about everything. He tells us every 6 weeks. Dude, can you imagine the collected miscellany of Piero if he's ever playable? Good Lord, I can't imagine. Capitano is a menace. The best kind of menace, some would say. The menace. Hell yeah, dude. Any comment is a compliment, all right? You can say the worst thing about Capitano, I'll be like, you're damn straight. You bet your ass. Capitano will die? Yeah, on opposite day. You thought you had me. Oh, Captain, my Captain. We are finally here.
He is very powerful, and that power comes with a high level of responsibility. However, I believe him to be someone worthy of respect, independent of the power he holds.
Put some fucking respect on the Captain. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Put some respect on his name. All right, you know what I'm doing today? Yeah, you guys want to know what I'm doing after this stream? I am going to, for the first time, implement a bannable offense in my Twitch chat. If you so much, yeah, the Capitano glazing is crazy. You bet your ass it is, okay? If you speak ill of my captain in my 2024, you're getting banned. All right, I'm letting you know now. All right, you are not allowed to talk badly about the captain in my Twitch chat. Yeah. Get your comments in now because this goes into effect tomorrow. All right, get it out of your system. Cope harder. Too bad. Didn't care. Don't ask. Yeah, get it out of your system. Floppy Tano. Yeah. All right. Who's your favorite Harbinger? Who's your favorite? Yo. Who's your favorite Harbinger? I'd love to know. All I'm saying is what Arlecchino is saying. Respect my king. Okay, respect my captain. My captain, not yours. Okay, my captain. And when he comes out next year and he just demolishes and he kicks ass and takes names and he doesn't die, it's gonna be the best day of my life. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Aether get his fucking ass destroyed by the captain. Huh? Anyways, moving on.
When I first took over the House of the Hearth, he proposed a number of plans for us to work together. He wanted me to send any rejects to...
That's fucking crazy. Rejects? Yo, any Dottore fans? Any fans of Dottore in my chat? Let me know. Let me know real quick. I'd love to. Hold up. Let me hover over your names real quick. Let me see. Any Dottore fans? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, you know what? Like who you like. I like Dottore too. I like to fucking hate him. He's a villain. That's what he's there for.
When I first took over the House of the Hearth, he proposed a number of plans for us to work together. He wanted me to send any rejects to him. He planned to experiment on them and then share the results with me. I heard that he and the previous knave had quite the professional rapport in that regard.
It's so cringe.
All I can say is that if he weren't one of my fellow Harbingers, I would have expedited their happy little reunion long ago.
Whoa, hold up! Wait! Yo, Arlecchino wants the smoke. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got it all wrong, chat. We thought, oh my god, Arlecchino is gonna get killed by Dottore, unbeknownst to her at the worst possible moment. Nah, she wants the 1v1. Holy shit. Oh my, you know what? I low-key kind of want that fight. I low-key want that 1v1. Nahida nerfed the fuck out of this man. So if he had his segments, I don't know, she probably would have taken an L, but on a 1v1 basis, maybe she might come out on top. She's still gonna die probably, but I just want both of them to kill each other then at that point. Not because I want Dottore to kill her, but if she's gonna die to Dottore, I don't want him to make it out alive either. You know what I mean? Holy shit, dude. I would love Arlecchino versus Dottore. For the kids of Teyvat.
She is a very special Harbinger. Pose her a question, and the answer you receive will be entirely unpredictable.
Ooh.
If she sees fit to give a proper answer at all. Regardless, any answer you do receive is sure to be an interesting one.
What the fuck? Is she a Riddler? Is Honkai Star Rail? Bro, what? Their lips are sealed with this one, bro. Child says that Columbine is super scary. She's like, oh yeah, she never gives a straight answer. I want to know so much about her. She's rank 3, so she's on that god tier with Dottore and my captain. So, all right, Liz, the big nose mayor.
The rooster holds little love for me, and the feeling is mutual. He is an acceptable mayor, I suppose. Perhaps even an exceptional one. He has an uncanny ability to make great gains at a small price, which has earned him substantial acclaim throughout his political circles.
Oh, God.
However small the price may be, if it continues to come at the expense of my organization, sooner or later...
Arlecchino's about to catch some body bags in the end game. She wants to kill all of them. All right, so the rooster is quite the Snezhnayan mayor. The people love him. He's a businessman, a politician. I'm sure he's gonna be relevant throughout the Archon quests. You know, he's essentially like probably the face of the I don't even know what I guess the Snezhnaya, not the nation, but I assume the city is also called Snezhnaya. So or Snezhnaya City or whatever, right? There's Sumeru City, Liyue Harbor, there's Court of Fontaine. So I don't know what it's called necessarily, but now Zapoliani Palace is basically the palace of the Tsaritsa. It's where the Tsaritsa stays, but I'm talking about like the hub town, city, location, the nation. It's obviously something within like Snezhnaya something. Yeah, like Snezhnaya capital or something. Yeah. All right, here we go. Sandrone.
I have little interest in her. She's extremely...
Damn, imagine that. Any Sandrone fans in here? She was like, irrelevant?
I have little interest in her. She's extremely passionate about her research and does not appear in public often. In fact, many of our officers have yet to see her at all.
Oh, damn.
Compared to Let's say
she's a
someone
nerd
who would go so far as to create segments of themselves to better wander across the land. I suppose you could say she is at the other end of the extreme.
So she's the opposite of Dottore, to create segments of themselves to better wander across the land. Oh, basically like, whereas Dottore sends parts of himself to other places of the world, bro's literally a people person. Sandrone is literally like a fucking shut-in, antisocial researcher who just spends all her time tinkering. Yeah, she's like Herta, actually. Oh my god. That's so funny. Yeah, and like Herta's like a puppet or something. I don't know if she is anything to that degree. Yeah, I'm very interested in her for her like ruin technology that's rooted in Conria, so I'm wondering her affiliations with like Piero. Like, did Piero teach her how to do that, or did she always have just like is she just like a tinkerer of sorts? I wonder how she feels about Dottori's research, because his research is also kind of somewhat rooted in Conria tech as Zandique during his past. And she's got like this ruin butler that literally just holds her and just kind of like is waiting on her hand and foot, right? The Bob, if you will, the Bob of Genshin. But interesting. I'm wondering when we're gonna see her. I'm surprised it wasn't in Fontaine, but some of these others, right? If Capitano is Natlin, I don't know if we'll get another Harbinger there, because like I think we've tended to get like 2 Harbingers per nation, with the exception of Mondstadt. Liyue was Child and Rosalind. Inazuma was Rosalind and Scaramouche. Sumeru was Scaramouche and Dottore. This nation was Child and Arlecchino. Oh, the Fatui wheel suggests that it's gonna be Columbina. Really? Number 1 and 3 in Natlin? Nah. Is it really gonna be that bad? I mean, the nation of war, these motherfuckers are built different. These motherfuckers are ready for a fight. So maybe they need to pull out the freaking big guns for this one. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, like, I guess I haven't looked that deeply into like considering Harbingers are next in line. Oh, wow. 2 god tier Harbingers for the last Gnosis sounds like, that shit sounds so badass. Natlin is gonna be so heat, no pun intended, but kind of makes you wonder what the Archon's gonna be like, right? If there's gonna be a pyro dragon involved as well, because not every nation has them. Some of them might not even exist anymore, but yeah, I had no idea. Holy shit. All right, Regrader.
I won't deny that he is a capable and imaginative individual, but he lacks clarity. He can formulate grand plans and manipulate the economy with ease, yet at the same time, he allows his actions to be governed by the vengeance and hatred locked in the depths of his heart.
Damn.
Rational people often believe themselves capable of controlling their emotions, but I believe that confidence is their greatest weakness.
Oh dear. Bro's an emotional spender? Evil buys you? True. Oh man, I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like a lot of people are not gonna like Snezhnaya, because I feel like with Pantalone and Puccinella being businessmen, politicians, these guys are gonna yap your fucking ear. They're gonna kill the traveler by just talking. They're gonna talk no jutsu his ass. It's gonna be hella political when we get to Snezhnaya. And yeah, I like these, like them two, like the mayor and the banker. They have a yap off. Jesus, that's so funny though. Like I can already picture it in my mind's eye. Snezhnaya Archon quest sucks. Everyone's just standing around talking, and it's like, that's what we do as people. We talk. 07s and chat gamers, can we pour one out for the fair lady? You've been dead for a couple of years and people still think you're coming back. It's just a testament to how much they loved you, and they're coping, but they're also hoping, but definitely coping. Anyways, let's move on.
She and Piero were the first Harbingers I became acquainted with.
Ooh.
Her prideful attitude when she first visited the House of the Hearth failed to earn her many friends among the children. Subsequent visits were accompanied by gifts, and the stately claim that those who dislike me shall receive none. The children quickly learned how to play pretend, and she in turn basked in their attention. Superficial, though it may have been. I imagine she quite enjoyed being surrounded by children, perhaps due to the persistent loneliness that plagued her. I found her sacrifice to be a great shame. May she be reunited with her lover in death.
God damn it. That's so sad. She knows about Rostam. This is why Arlecchino's goated. She's got such admiration and respect for people. The people that deserve it, right? We meme around here about La Signora. You know why? Because it's like, you know, we can't let r/Signora mains forget what they did to them. We got to keep her memory alive in our hearts. And Hoyoverse is doing a great job of constantly reminding us year after year about Rosalind. For better or for worse. But yeah, I love that. I love that last line there. I also love that Rosalind's just terrible with kids. I can picture it too. She talks so much shit. She's just like, oh, these fucking children. And then she's like, I want you to respect me or you don't get anything. So she's also willing to like haggle with the kids for their like fake affection. She's like, I can't stand kids, but I also want them to like me. Yeah, she's more of like, yeah, she's got that auntie energy. I liked that. I really liked the Rostam bit. This is where a lot of people are gonna be like, wait, who's her lover? Like, how do we tell them?
Objectively speaking, his personality is ill-suited to that of a harbinger. He often tries to think the best of others and finds himself used by them as a result. Of course, he is very talented. With time, I'm sure he'll come into his own. I see no need to judge him too early.
Oh, child, my child. We love you. Yeah, basically. Yeah, Child's, you know what? I will say that Child's like the normal one of the bunch. Like, if this was a weird fucking dysfunctional family, Child is actually normal. Bro's actually sane. And he's like probably the youngest one out of everyone here. I assume everyone else besides him is like hundreds of years old and is just so out of touch with reality. They're all just a bunch of fucking boomers. They don't get it. It's like, so what if he has the foul legacy transformation? He also has a loving family, siblings, a mom and a dad. He has freaking patriotism for his family. He loves his Saritsa. He loves fighting. Like, wait, what's that? Oh, he's fighting for his country, so he's a bad person? That's crazy. That's wild. If that's your only complaint against Child, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you, bro. Man's a patriot. He's fighting for his country. What do you want from him? Don't do it. You're not the traveler. He tried to drown the city. No. He tried to get Morax to come out of hiding. Bro was not actually Bro was not about that life. He knew. And you know what's funny? Zhongli said he would have done something if the humans hadn't. So Child was literally calling his bluff and he knew that shit wasn't about to go down. Bro did not know Morax was alive. He had to have because he said that's why he did it. He didn't know for sure, but he knew. And Zhongli would have done it had the Adepti and the humans not come together. Liyue was always saved by plot armor. And if it wasn't saved by plot armor, if it wasn't saved by the Adepti, it was going to be saved by Morax. And so Child was on the money regardless. I will say there was a lot of collateral damage though. I will say that. But yeah, Child is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Child's like the most well-adjusted harbinger out of all of them here.
You wish to know more about me? Why, of course. Our relationship is one of mutual trust. There's little need to keep things hidden. I would only inquire as to whether you're truly prepared for what you might learn. Secrets can be sharper than a knife. Innocent curiosity can lead to dangerous places.
Yeah, so you're gonna tell me those secrets or what? I ain't got all day. Imagine. I'm like, I don't care about how dangerous they tell me anyway. I've been waiting 3 goddamn years.
The moment you wield a blade, you realize that different lives carry different weights. Some people have an air of renown and distinction, yet grovel and plead for their lives when faced with death.
Yep.
Their outward demeanor nothing more than a hollow facade. Others appear unremarkable, yet carry a heavy burden within. Despite the factors that differentiate us in life, death awaits us all.
Don't remind me.
Great and final equalizer.
Don't remind me.
Cruel, you say? I merely state the truth.
Don't remind me, please. I don't want this. Death awaits us all. Arlecchino's counting her days. She's like, when's Snezhnaya?
My Snezheviches and Snezhevnas.
Aww.
Those with the courage to walk through shadow.
My children.
Even when the world gets dark. And the conviction to embrace the heat, even at the risk of getting burned. I will do my utmost to teach them how to navigate life.
Aww.
The House of the Hearth begs favors from no one. Like a spider, we hunt for what we want.
You know what? I'm here for it. I love to see it, dude. Sons and daughters. Spiders having 6 legs in Teyvat pisses me off. Well, you know what? It represents the 6. That's foreshadowing. What other explanation is there? Clearly, they were onto something.
No one has the power to choose where they come from. But we all have the right to fight for the life we want.
Yes.
In this sense, the world is both unfair and just in equal measure.
True.
I don't take in children out of a desire for recompense. In fact, should they so wish, the children are free to leave and pursue a life outside my organization. So long as they're willing to pay the price.
Their memories. But yeah, I love that. She's like, life sucks for everybody. Life is fair for everybody. It's about how you're perceiving it and how you decide to handle what life throws at you. God, I love that so much.
Fate can be a peculiar thing. When I was young, Mother favored me due to the unusual set of abilities I possess. No one was able to discern their true nature, not even me. We would only speculate that they were the result of some sort of hereditary curse. Whatever the origin of my power, all I knew was that it was the source of my strength, and often the impetus for my suffering. It was only after I became a Harbinger that I finally learned the truth from the Jester. He expressed surprise that the Crimson Moon bloodline had not gone extinct, and that, in a strange twist of fate, the House of the Hearth had ended up in the hands of an orphan of that lineage once again.
Wow.
I cannot say what the future holds. I trust fate will give me an answer in time, and when it does, I'm prepared to do things my way. Even if that means striking down fate with my own 2 hands.
So I assume when it says the House of the Hearth had ended up in the hands of an orphan of that lineage once again, I wonder if that's referring to the orphanage of like the orphanage that was referenced in Parent Harry. Remember how I mentioned that too when we read when was it? When did I say that? I forgot when I said it, but I basically was like, it's interesting. I think it was when we read Parent Harry. I was like, it's interesting that if Arlecchino's blood power comes from the Crimson Moon, it's interesting that she runs the House of the Hearth, and she is a Harbinger, and the head of the Harbingers is a Conrian, and that would then tie back into the Hearth, like the orphanage of Conria that was in Parent Harry. It would be interesting if Parent Harry started the orphanage then, because he was from Conria, and he was a part of that story. Even if he started it, like obviously the successorship and the lineage would lead back all the way down to Arlecchino. How would he start the orphanage if he was an orphan in the story? Am I misremembering? No, what I mean is like this orphanage, like he was an orphan in Conria's orphanage. In the story, Parent Harry goes on to leave Conria and go to the outside world. And what I'm saying is I wonder if he went on to create the orphanage out, like in the outside world that eventually became this one. Like I'm wondering if Parent Harry started the House of the Hearth. Puro said only the key points of that story are accurate. Define a key point in a story like that. I think every part of that book is important. I think the Blood Moon part's important. I think the Hearth and like the crawl space is important. I think Parent Harry's story is important. I think Angelica is important. I think the fact that he got out into the real world is important. You know what I mean? Like, I think the whole book is, you know, if the book mentioned, oh, Parent Harry used to eat rice and beans every night for dinner, I don't think that's very important. I think you could, that's probably a lie. But I think everything in that book is really important. I would sooner believe that she is from the bloodline of Parent Harry than Parent Harry exists still. All right, let us continue. That was huge. That was insanely good lore right there. Like, so even the Jester was surprised that someone from that dynasty survived and like the bloodline carried on after the fact.
In my free time, I enjoy observing insects in the forest.
Aww.
The dynamics between them are fascinating. The way they hunt for food, compete with each other, even cooperate. Those that seem formidable aren't always the ones that make it until the end, and a single error can prove fatal. I observe their struggle as they near death, and slowly commit the image of their suffering to memory. much like I do for those that fall by my own hand.
Oh my god. Losing Bambi really changed her, eh? She's like, yo, I went from raising a spider to watching insects kill each other. Truly the robust hobby.
The children often make use of words and phrases from popular vernacular that are only comprehensible among themselves, much like the code words we use during missions. Of course, children often need their own space, and I fully understand that.
AKA, I'm a boomer. I don't understand what these kids are saying these days. Back in my day, I'm not hip to the jive. I'm not hip to the lingo of the children these days.
On occasion, we hold barbecue dinners at the house, and the children prepare the ingredients themselves.
Ooh.
They enjoy participating in activities like that, and the feeling is mutual. After all, it's always possible certain familiar faces will be missing from the crowd the next time a similar event rolls around.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, why does that line sound so familiar about the barbecue dinners? But that's the line from the trailer. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this deja vu? Did I read this by accident?
I dislike complex seasonings. They dull one's sense of smell and taste.
Oh, okay.
Allowing the ingredients to maintain their original flavor is also a way to respect their integrity.
Okay, I respect it. I thought she was gonna say, like, I don't have seasonings on anything. I was about to roast this freaking Harbinger. Put salt and pepper on your goddamn food, please. Be a civilized member of society, not a fucking psychopath. A world where I can't imagine a life lived where someone just doesn't season their fucking food, especially coming from like an African-American background and a family. For the love of God, please. I'm gonna save the birthday for my birthday. We're doing an annual birthday stream this year, as we always do. My birthday's actually coming up. My birthday is a little over a month from now. My birthday's on June 2nd, and so we're gonna do another birthday stream. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the birthday messages for Chiori and Cloud Retainer, because, well, not really Chiori, but like I really wanted Cloud Retainer, but I'll for both of them. But obviously I'm gonna go through my characters first, because I do an annual birthday stream every year where I read out the birthday messages on my birthday.
Always keep moving forward. Never let yourself be constrained by power. Anger makes you impulsive, and sorrow causes you to waver. Always maintain control over your emotions. Some call me excessively strict. In truth, it is an approach I extend even to myself.
And lastly,
I've learned much from you during this time, and I trust the sentiment is mutual. In fact, I believe maintaining this cordial relationship might prove advantageous for us both. Who knows what thorny issues the future holds? I imagine there may yet be many an occasion for us to join hands.
Oh my god, chat, she wants to hold my hand. Holy shit. What a mountain of lore. I cannot believe. That was intense. We took away a lot more out of that than I was expecting. We learned about the Crimson Moon Dynasty, the Eclipse Dynasty usurping the Crimson Moon Dynasty. We got a lot of Piero crumbs in there. Arlecchino's first interaction with him, joining the Harbingers. A little shade thrown at each of them for varying degrees. Oh my god. I feel like we learned about Conria more than anything. Like, I think Conria was like a big thing we took away from this, especially the dynasty aspect of it. Holy moly. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was insane. That was incredible. It's gonna be a long time, I feel like. I don't think we're gonna get another Harbinger. I don't think we're getting another Harbinger until Snezhnaya, if I'm being completely honest. If Columbina and Capitano go to Natlin next year and they're fighting tooth and nail for this freaking Pyronosis because shit's crazy and shit's about to pop off, because like if there's anywhere that you're actually gonna have to fight for this shit, it's gonna be the Nation of War. I don't know if they'll also make both of them or even one of them playable at the moment, especially because when we went to Sumeru, Scaramouche and Dottore were added, but neither of them were playable initially. It wasn't until a little while later, but even then Dottore was introduced technically in-game in Sumeru, but Scaramouche has been around since 1.1. Yeah, this might, I don't know when the next time we're gonna get another Harbinger, and I genuinely feel like it's not gonna be until Snezhnaya, personally. If it's before that, that would be great, maybe after the Natlin Archon quest, but it really depends on who's playable versus who isn't. If Puccinella's gonna be playable, that's a Snezhnaya moment. Obviously, the Saritsa's gonna be playable. She's like the head. She's like the leader of the Fatui. Yeah, I'm super thrilled, super excited. I hope we get another Harbinger sooner rather than later. But Arlecchino, one of my definitely top 10 characters. I loved her quests. I love her resolve. I love the way she carries herself. I love her method of parenting. You know, like it's a delicate balance that I really appreciate. I don't know if I could necessarily do it. I feel like I would be a little too, I would be on the overly caring side, the overly affectionate side, especially. And so I don't know if I could carry myself the same way that she does with how she raises her. But I mean, it's a different world, it's a different time, it's a different way of doing things. But I just respect a lot how she is incredibly considerate. That one story with the girl, with the daughter, with the necklace and the earrings, that has such a lasting impact on me because kids are so delicate. And it's like, I feel like adults forget what they were like when they were kids, because you spend more of your life, you spend most of your life as an adult than you ever did a kid. And so I really do feel like a lot of parents just forget how they were or how they felt as kids. And I feel like if there's anything that Arlecchino does, she definitely puts that aspect of her past at the forefront of how she raises and teaches and allows her kids to be free and to carve their own path and does the best she can to support them. So absolutely love this character. Thoroughly enjoyed the story quest. Really love the boss fight. I'm still not all that confident in my approach to it. I've died in both variations at this point, so it's challenging. It's fun. I really enjoy it. And so that's everything for this lore reading session. From here, I'm gonna take the next couple of days off. I think the next time I stream will be on Wednesday, and or actually no, I think it's gonna be Thursday. So the next time I'm gonna stream is Thursday, and we are probably going to pivot to world quest stuff. I do have Chen Yu Vale that I need to finish up. I do have the second half of the Fujin quest. I know a lot of people want me to jump into Remoria, but I don't want to focus too much on present stuff before I clean up my past stuff, because I don't want this backlog to be constantly looming over me. So so yeah, we'll figure it out as time goes on, but really enjoyed the lore and I hope you guys did too.